Funding for This Is Nashville comes from you, our listeners, and Alliance Bernstein. Since 2019, employees have impacted our community by giving more than 5,000 hours of volunteerism in Middle Tennessee. AllianceBernstein.com. Alliance Bernstein is not affiliated with National Public Radio.
I'm Khalil Ekolona, and this is Nashville. Since 2020, Hany Mukhtar has dazzled Nashville SC fans with his skills on the soccer field. He's regarded as one of the best players in Major League Soccer, and he's got the hardware to prove it. Last year, he brought home the Golden Boot as the top scorer. Oh yeah, he was also named MVP of the league. While the German native was busy taking the soccer world by storm, he also launched a local youth soccer academy to help introduce the beautiful game to the next generation. Later this hour, we'll talk with Hany Mukhtar about his upbringing, putting down roots in Nashville, and his hopes for the future. But first, the Environmental Protection Agency is working on a new standard for one type of air pollution. Scientists call it fine particulate matter, but you may think of it as soot. Now, you may be thinking of factories and smokestacks, but these days, big industrial facilities aren't always the main producers of soot. In Nashville, the biggest source can be your car and maybe your home. And there's a good chance that these new EPA rules will tip Nashville into non-attainment, meaning steps would have to be taken to bring levels down. Here to explain this all is WPLN environmental reporter Caroline Eggers. Caroline, thanks for being here. Welcome back to This is Nashville.
Glad to be here.
So break this down for us. Let's start with the science. What is fine particulate matter?
So the technical term is PM 2.5. And that's because it's made up of these tiny little specks that are no more than 2.5 microns in diameter. So that's like a 30th of a human hair.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So this size of pollution matters because it's able to easily penetrate into our lungs and into our bloodstream.
Mm-hmm. So what are the main sources here in Nashville?
So in Nashville, the largest source is our homes and our buildings. And that source is us burning natural gas for our heating and cooking. Then cars and trucks are our second biggest source. Then we have some industrial contributors. Nashville's largest stationary source of soot is an automotive glass manufacturer. And then there's some area sources like construction sites and farms.
Now, was any of this surprising?
Yeah. I was actually very surprised that natural gas was the biggest source. I mean, natural gas is usually kind of neglected from the conversation on PM 2.5. Not all parts of the country use gas for heating, but we do, and it is making us sicker. You know, we've all been hearing lately about how gas stoves are harming us because that we're, creating particulate matter inside of our homes. But I have seen very little information on how gas heating is causing this pollution outdoors.
Wow. So, you reported that the EPA is proposing lowering the limits of fine particulate matter from 12 micrograms per cubic meter to 9 or 10. Many listeners may not immediately be able to envision what that means in terms of size, but they can probably understand that's a pretty substantial cut in how much soot is allowed into the air. How could this impact us here in Nashville?
Well, Nashville is currently at 9.1 based off the latest data. So we wouldn't be in line with federal law if they chose 9. So with air pollution, this is called non-attainment. City officials told me this would cost industries a lot of money to install air pollution controls and to monitor their pollution more closely. But since Nashville's largest sources are our homes and cars, it could potentially result in a larger educational effort to cut these, scattered fossil fuel sources. The most effective solution for Nashville would be to get our homes off natural gas and our cars off of oil and onto electricity. And if we cut this pollution, people will be healthier.
Well, tell me, how does air pollution affect our health?
Yeah. So this type of air pollution really affects our lungs and our heart. So, we're talking about particles that are just, less than a few microns big. So asthma and cardiovascular disease are two big concerns. But it's really important to know that air pollution is our largest environmental threat to humans. And fine particulate matter is the big one out of our different types of air pollution. So when I say environmental, this means it really matters where you live. So communities that are near roadways or industrial sites have higher risk. And this is one of the reasons that air pollution is such a good example of a health disparity.
Okay.
Because of how we've located communities historically. And so if we look planet-wide, we know that at least 4 million premature deaths are tied to fine particulate matter each year.
4 million across the globe.
That's globally.
Wow.
Here in the U.S., we have some estimates around like 200,000 deaths per year.
Still way too many. But thinking about it, it's not just coal that's responsible for fine particulate matter. You also said natural gas is a source, which may be surprising to a lot of us. And, this isn't the only situation in which natural gas is being questioned. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So I kind of mentioned this earlier, but like a really good case study for this is looking inside homes that use gas stoves. So a recent Harvard study found that anyone who has natural gas for cooking can be exposed to particulate matter pollution. It's because of the volatile organic compounds that are being released into the air, they can form this fine particulate matter. And so this is because these systems can leak gas directly into the home. It's not just when you're cooking, it's what's going on when you're not cooking.
Yeah.
But gas for heating is what's polluting our air outside the most.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I've got an electric stove. Caroline Eggers is WPLN's environmental reporter. You can find her story and reporting at WPLN.org. Thanks, Caroline, as always, and thank you for your reporting.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
We have to take a short break. When we come back, we'll talk one-on-one with Hany Mukhtar, the star player for Nashville SC. Tweet us your questions and thoughts at This Is Nashville. We'll be right back.
Funding for This Is Nashville comes from you, our listeners, and Music City Prep Clinic, Nashville-based provider for PrEP, and offering comprehensive sexual health services in an environment designed to be safe, professional, and shame-free. Learn more at musiccityprep.org.
I'm Khalil Ekalona, and this is Nashville. It's soccer season. Nashville SC kicked things off this past Saturday with a 2-0 win over New York City FC. And in the 75th minute of the game, the team's MVP finally took to the pitch, and this is how the crowd reacted.
Incredible ovation for a man who is just from day one delivered for this club.
5 minutes later, Hany Mukhtar makes an assist to a goal that would seal the win for Nashville SC.
Touch. Hany Mukhtar, the reigning MVP, running forward. Hany Mukhtar into the box, hands it off. Schaffelberg!
Man, I know that was a great feeling. Hany Mukhtar joins me now. Hany, thank you for being here. Welcome to This Is Nashville.
Hey, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Pleasure to have you with us, my friend. So, let's start with Saturday's game. How did it feel when you finally took to the field?
Yeah, it felt amazing. I had not a perfect preseason. I got hurt early in our preseason. I didn't play any preseason matches. So it was amazing to be back on the field. I'm looking forward now. Finally, I'm fit, and I'm trying to stay fit and hopefully help with even more minutes the team next week.
Now, was that injury related to the hip tightness you experienced before the game?
Yeah, exactly. So I had a little muscle injury on my hip, but nothing too serious and nothing too crazy. But I couldn't play the preseason games, and you know how it is. It's important to play a couple of friendly games before the season starts to get your fitness back. And but I'm very happy to be back now. Hearing the crowd, how they were cheering for me, and and the big banner before the game, that's something special. And I just try to give something back to the fans, to Nashville, and help the team.
Now, should fans be worried about your injury, or we're in the clear?
No, we are clear now. Hopefully next week I get a couple more minutes, and then I should be good to go again.
All right. Well, this was a home game here at our own Geodis Park, which, of course, only just made its debut at the kickoff of the 2022 season. I wonder, how does it feel to play the first game of the season in our new hometown facility?
I mean, I have to say, first of all, I played in big stadiums, and probably I think my first Bundesliga game was in Allianz Arena. It's from Bayern Munich, the stadium. But I have to say, the Geodis Park is special, and it feels every time you go on the pitch amazing, and the crowd is getting better and better. They're cheering for us. It's something amazing what's going on about Nashville SC here in Nashville. So I'm excited. The whole team is excited, and the stadium is amazing.
You've played, as you said, in Europe, in big stadiums and big arenas. What's so special about Nashville SC's fan base?
I think what makes the fan base very special is that they're very loyal. Last year, we were not necessarily always successful at home games, and they were still standing behind us. And I think that makes the city or the fans so special here for us players. So I think that's a very unique thing.
Having played in so many different environments, I wonder how MLS fans here in America are different than the ones you played in front of when you were playing in Europe. Like, who are the toughest MLS fans, to play in front of?
I would probably say Philly. The Philly fans, it's very similar like Europe. The opponent fans, they're most of the time very mean, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I think here the biggest difference is that they're very friendly. Even if you go to away games, they're not like saying bad stuff to you, which is nice. I have to say. But also, I think we created a very good environment here with the Nashville fans.
Everybody in the sporting world knows that the Philadelphia fans, no matter what the sport is, are notorious for giving visitors a hard time.
It's true, yeah.
Okay, so you've been playing for Nashville SC since 2020. Tell us what brought you here to our team.
Yeah, I had very, very good talks with the club, the whole organization, and Mike Jacobs, the general manager, told me very early on he wanted to build a team around me, and that I'm a very, very important piece of the whole organization. And I think that was very special because I'm from Europe, or I'm from Berlin, and when you go to a new team, the team is already built, and you are the missing piece maybe, but it doesn't happen often that a general manager says like, hey, we're building a team around you. So that was very special, and I felt very welcome from the very first minute here in Nashville. I think the people here in Nashville, they are really nice. I have to say, I just fall in love with the city, and you can see that on the field that I'm happy, and during my career, it was not always that I felt that good where I was, or that I was happy at the place where I was. So I really know how to appreciate, and I really appreciate what I have here, and just trying to perform week in, week out, to give it back to the fans and to the city.
That decision to invest in you and make you the pillar of the team is really paying off, because in a short time you've made quite the name for yourself, not only here in Nashville but across the country and in MLS. Last year you were named MVP for Major League Soccer. Tell me, what was that like for you?
Yeah, that's a great, or a big honor. There's a lot of talent in this league, big players. The city is growing a lot. I think we're on the right track with Nashville. So just to get an award like that is amazing. I think now the next steps, what we have to do as a team, to get awards, team awards, and to win an MVP is amazing. But in the end, you also want to win championships, and I think we have to improve a couple of things. But we're on a good run and good track, and we have to follow this row, and hopefully the next years we will bring some silverware to Nashville.
Mm-hmm. If you're just tuning in, this is Nashville, and I'm your host, Khalil Ekolona. We're talking this hour with Nashville SC superstar Hany Mukhtar. So I want to go back to your beginnings. Tell me, when did you first fall in love with the game of soccer or football?
Whoa, very early on. I think I was 3-4 years old when I started playing football or soccer in Germany. My dad was big into soccer. His dream was to become a professional soccer player. Everyone who has been to Germany knows that soccer or football is like the biggest sport down there, and every kid is dreaming about, or most of the kids are dreaming about, to become a soccer player. And that was, for me, it was my dream very early on. And I got the chance to go to one of the best academies in the country, in Berlin. So I was lucky enough, and I worked hard, and I knew that I want to become a soccer player.
Mm. Now, you spoke about your father, who grew up in Khartoum, the capital of Sudan, and he had these dreams of playing professional soccer, but he put those aside to really help his children, and in your case, help you really realize and actualize your soccer dreams. How did your father influence you as you were going out and pursuing this path?
Yeah, like you said, it was also his dream to become a soccer player, but back then in Sudan, still to this day, you cannot really make money out of soccer, and so he decided to get his PhD in Germany, to provide for his family. And I think I am very, very grateful for that, because I know that, born and raised in Berlin is a privilege, and I know that, so I don't take it for granted. I worked hard that I become a soccer player, because I know there are millions of kids out there having the same dream. So you have to work harder, and I think I learned the fundamentals of the sport, or probably in any sport, that you have to work hard, and that you have to work harder than the others. And my dad taught me that from the very, very early days in my career.
Now, did your mother take the same approach?
Yes, my mom was very supportive. She's a mother, like she was always, doesn't matter if I played good, if I want to train or not wanted to train, she was always the safe space, and she was always there for me. And I think that's also very important, that you have the balance, right? That you are very focused, that you work hard and you follow your dreams, but also you're a kid. You need to be a kid, you need to be loved. And I think there was a very good balance they had, or they have. I'm grateful that they helped me, and they were always telling me, you have to, if that is your dream, follow it, do it, and you can do it, and they believed in me, and I'm very grateful for that.
Let's go back to your training at the Hertha Berlin Youth Soccer Academy that you entered in at age 6, which to me is incredibly young, but that's what it takes these days to get a star player like yourself. Tell me, what was that experience like being at the Hertha Berlin Youth Soccer Academy?
I mean, every kid in Berlin wants to go to the Hertha Academy, because obviously it's a huge club. They have a first team which plays in the Bundesliga, and every kid wants to go to the academy. And when you're picked that you're one of the players to go to the academy, that means a lot for you, right? First of all, my mom wasn't very happy about it, because it's an hour away from where we live. or where we used to live, and it's on the other side of the city. So that was a big problem, but they made it work. They said, hey, if you want it, you can go. We will make that work for you. And so then I started there, and it's not easy, you know, like people think, yeah, he was in the academy, and it's like nice to be there, you know. It is a privilege, definitely, but also on the other side, it's like every year players get cut, you know, and you have that pressure very early on. And I mean, to make it, the goal was every year to make it to the next year, you know, like to make it, okay, now I'm going up. So that was not easy. And I remember there was a couple of times where we had like tournaments, indoor tournaments, and they were huge, where different Bundesliga clubs came to the tournament, and you want to be in there, and the coach just choose like 8 players, and you were not in the squad. So these are moments that are very hard for kids, you know, and when you're like 12, 13, you don't really understand why did the coach not pick me, you know. And but it's also good that you learn very early on to handle pressure, because to play in front of a crowd with like 40,000, 30,000 people, there is pressure on, and I think in every sport is pressure. So it's good for kids to learn early on to handle the pressure. That it's not when the time comes and you dream your whole life about playing a professional game, and then you make your debut, and then all of a sudden it's too much for you. So I think it was a very good experiment or experience. Sorry. So I'm very happy that I had the privilege to go to a really big academy in Germany.
You know, what you're saying to me reminds me of the adage in sports where they say it's like 20% training and 80% being able to handle adversity. Not only in making the squad, but the adversity you face in the game, in the midst of competition.
I would even say more, honestly. I would even say more. Like, the mental game in any sport is like huge. I played with a lot of players where I said, okay, maybe their talent skill is not that high, but like their mental capacity was so high, you know, they could handle pressure anytime, you know, in the game. And I would even say it's higher than 20%.
So would you say that your experience as a young person, you know, a kid growing up at the academy playing in front of these huge crowds, helps to kind of steel an athlete mentally and make them mentally fit and fortified to go out there and to compete at a high level consistently? Yeah,
probably. You know, of course, a couple of my teammates back then, they realized, okay, it's not for them necessarily, you know, the pressure, and every time, like, they want to be a kid, they want to go out on the weekend, they want to go out with friends, you know, which I can understand. But you also realize that very early on, and you know, I think it's good for the kids, to be honest.
Now, you know, you went on to lead Germany's under-17 team to a championship title in 2012, and soon after you turned pro at just 18, I think.
I was 17.
Okay, so you were definitely the second youngest player to debut for Hertha BSC in its 131-year history. Talk about pressure. Tell me this, what did turning pro so young, what did that teach you about the business side of the game?
I mean, that was a dream come true for me. You know, I was born in Berlin, and, you know, to make your debut for the biggest club in the city, and, you know, there was a dream. And I remember the day the coach told me, like, hey, today you will come in to the game, and, you know, I was so happy. I was like, wow, I made it, and that was great. But in general, I think for me, it was such an honor because, like you said, the club is old. The club has been there for a minute. So to be the second youngest player to make a debut, that's huge, you know. And I knew that, and that felt like, I remember, like, so good for me.
Mm-hmm. Now, you know, your profile is rising so quickly. And deservedly so. You know, there's talk of you being called up to play for the German national team. What would an opportunity like that mean for you?
Yeah, I mean, huge. Like I said, when you're a kid, you have like 2 or 3 dreams. One dream is to become a professional soccer player for your hometown or where you grow up, and that the other one is playing for the national team. And I think to play for a national team is something huge, and especially Germany is, I know they didn't do that well in the World Cup, but they are still one of the best national teams in the world in soccer. So that would be huge, and that would be a great honor.
We got to take a short break. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation with MLS superstar Hany Mukhtar. We'll talk about his experience building roots here and calling Nashville home. Tweet us at This Is Nashville. We'll be right back. I'm Khalil Ekalona, and this is Nashville. My guest today is Hany Mukhtar, midfielder for Nashville SC. Last year, he won 2 of the top awards in the MLS, the Most Valuable Player and the Golden Boot, which is given to the league's top scorer. Before the break, we were talking about how he got his start. Let's talk now about the roots he's planting here in Nashville. Hany Mukhtar, thanks again for being here with us.
Thank you.
All right, so you moved here in 2019, right?
Beginning of 2020, actually. The first time I came to the US was 2019. So that was when I signed here, but really living here since 2020.
Did you come with any friends or family?
No, I came alone by myself.
Whoa. So tell me what that's like. I mean, were you nervous about moving into a new country by yourself?
It's not only a new country, it was a new continent. So I was honestly a little nervous. I mean, with every change a soccer player or an athlete make, there is a risk. But going to a totally new continent and then a new league, obviously, I was nervous, but I knew also that, I want to put in my marks in this league and show that, who I am and that I am good.
Mm-hmm. So you came out here and you moved to this new continent, new country, and a new city. Did you know much about Nashville before you moved here?
Not much, honestly, but my mom is a huge Johnny Cash fan, so obviously I knew a little bit about Nashville, but not too much, to be honest.
Well, tell me, what were your initial impressions of Nashville?
Very different than Berlin. That was my first impression. But very nice. The people are very friendly, and like I said, everyone welcomed me with open arms from the very beginning of my time here. And I think Nashville in general fits me very well. The vibe of the people and in general.
You said Nashville is very different from Berlin. Tell me more about that.
I mean, Berlin is comparable. You would compare it with probably like New York. I wouldn't say necessarily rough, but in Berlin, everyone is busy with their own life. No one is like, when you walk on the street, no one is really asking you like, how are you? Like, hey, how are you? I was in the beginning like, do I know him? Do I know this person? Because it was so new to me, like someone you don't know is just asking you like, how are you? It's just everything was a little bit more, or is a little bit more busier in Berlin. Here, the lifestyle is very calm, and you have a good lifestyle. You have a calm lifestyle. I think it's perfect for raising a family and to concentrate on soccer. And when you want to go out, you still have Broadway. It's not that you are like in a small city. You're still like in a very good sized city, and you have opportunities to have fun here, and it's definitely not boring.
Do you have any wild Broadway stories of when you first arrived?
No. I mean, I went out a couple times, but not too crazy,
Nothing to report home about, I guess.
I mean, it was COVID, you know, it was COVID.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, who showed you around town? Who were the first people to introduce you to Nashville?
Yeah, the Aaron Michaud and Jeff Robin, they both work for the club. They took me out to Broadway. They showed me a little bit the city and everything, which is what was going on here. And I was very surprised. It's a cool city. It's a fun city. A lot of young people, and you can do a lot of fun stuff here.
I wonder how your experience has been different because you're a professional athlete and you're the face of the franchise. You know, I'm new to Nashville. I moved here in the fall of 2021, but because of my job and the position sitting in this host chair, I've had an opportunity to learn the city a little bit differently than someone who would move here just because they took on a new career or they decided to move to the South. Have you gotten that feeling like the city has been opened up to you a little bit more because of who you are and what you're doing here?
Maybe. I don't know 100%, but it's difficult for me to say because I don't know how it is for other people which moved to Nashville. But I think in general, honestly, like even when my friends from Berlin, they come visit me here, and like the first thing they're saying, like, man, like everyone is so nice, like you can just talk with people. I'm not saying like in Berlin everyone is rude and miserable, and I'm not saying that, but it's just like a different pace of life, you know, like everyone, like if you're in the train, like someone is looking at his phone, the other one is reading a book, like listening to music. No one cares about the other person. Here I feel like it's more like people talk with each other, especially like when I go to a dog park or like everyone wants to talk, I feel like. And that's very different than what I'm used to.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, you got a taste of that Southern hospitality, and you know, it's something that Nashville is known for. And Nashville is also, it's proving to be a significant place in your life. You're reaching career highs here. You've met the love of your life, and you have thousands of fans. Do you consider Nashville your home?
Yeah, it's definitely my second home. Berlin will always be my place. You know, I was born and raised there, but I feel very home here in Nashville. And like you said, I met a wonderful woman. I play the best soccer of my career so far. You know, it's great right now. So I can't complain.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, last fall, you opened a soccer academy for Nashville youth. What inspired you to start your own youth academy?
I mean, I was like we talked about. I was running to the best youth academy in Berlin and one of the best in Germany. And Nashville SC does a great job with the youth and with the next generation. And I think for me to give something back to the community is a big piece. And to opening up my own academy, to giving opportunities to kids which are maybe not too involved in soccer or not too familiar with soccer, and to kids which are very familiar with soccer, which are very good, talented already, to make them better. And I think that's what I feel that also as a responsibility that I have to create another opportunity for kids. And we did a fantastic job with the two camps. Now we are about to open up our own facility to giving more practice and training time for the kids and more possibilities. And in general, it's a thing which I love to do also. You know, I love to work with kids because I was one of them. The first thing I always say to them when they see me, they get excited and they're like, wow, can I get a picture? I'm like, hey, like, you know, enjoy the moment right now. Enjoy like to get the experience from a professional player, because I know when I was in their shoes, I was always so nervous. I just wanted to get a picture, but like what really matters is that you talk with the person, that you get to know the soccer player, and he can give you maybe an advice. You can learn something from him, and like the first 2 camps, I can just say like that was an amazing outcome. We helped a lot of kids, and I'm very looking forward to do this in the future here. We have big plans. We want to help in general the soccer community, bringing closer soccer to more and more kids, and that will help, I think, everyone here in Nashville.
Now, you mentioned that you all are working on opening up a facility for training. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, it's an old warehouse. That will be just a temporary thing until we find a place where we can build our indoor facility. When I was young, I loved to play indoor soccer. I love to play like 6v6, 5v5, and I think there's a lot of outcome out of these training sessions. And I want to build something like that here in Nashville. When I was younger, we used to go to these indoor facilities and play 5v5 with friends, and I learned a lot of stuff. You learn how to handle the ball in tight spaces, ball control, and a lot more. And I think that's good for kids which are not too familiar with soccer. I think it's a good start to get into sports. You act with different kids. You need to behave in a team. You need to have your role, and there's a lot of discipline. And I think it's great for kids to grow their love to the sport. We all started at a point, and when for me the whole thing is worth already if I can bring one kid closer to soccer or falling in love with soccer. That's the whole purpose of all that, and I think Nashville needs that. And if I can help with that, that's the goal.
You're putting a lot of time and energy into this, kids. And as a person who's coached Little League sports in my past, I know how much a team of people is really needed to help get an endeavor like this off the ground. Who did you recruit to help you build the academy?
I recruited like Pete Kipley. He did similar stuff like that. I have a coach who lived long in Italy. His name is Mergen. He has an A license. Very good. A very, very talented coach, still young. I have a couple others. We're a team of like 5, 6, 7. We want to make it bigger. That's right now just the start. We're working hard on the facility to get it ready, and then hopefully in a month or 2 months that we can start training with the kids.
How does it feel to have such notable players and coaches help you in this mission to achieve this endeavor of bringing soccer to the youth of Nashville?
I mean, that's very important to me, to offer the kids quality, I don't want to put anyone there coaching who has no experience in soccer, and before like the training camp, we had good meetings to walk through all these exercises, what we want to tell the kids, what we want to teach the kids, and what they should learn out of that. And I think we did a good job in that. Everyone who knows me, I love individual stuff. I love 1v1s. I think it's very important to work on your technique, because if you work harder on all your on technique and 1v1, you will be better in the end on the big field, and we did that. It was a fun time, and I have to say, next time you have a time, you should come out, to check it out.
I'll come out. I played half a season of JV soccer in the 9th grade.
So you're familiar with soccer?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm familiar with watching, but I'll get out there and I'll help kick the ball around the pitch. If you're just tuning in, this is Nashville, and I'm your host, Khalil Ekolona. We're talking this hour with MLS superstar Hany Mukhtar. So tell me, what's the future of soccer in the United States? Our men's national team has notably struggled for years. If we have more academies like yours, what do you think our prospects will be?
Not with mine. I think in general, the future looks so bright for the U.S. in soccer. the whole MLS, they're making a fantastic job of growing the league, giving more exposure also to Europe, to outside of the US, and I can see, like, just for me, from my experience, the day I arrived, no one really cared about us. Of course, there were like a couple people which were already soccer fans. They were excited, but like people which were not that close to soccer, they didn't care. But now, 3 years later or 3.5 years later, it's massive. Like, I feel like every person I meet, they're telling me, hey, I have a season ticket, just like that's great. And I think we as a whole organization, we did a fantastic job in bringing more excitement to like, I don't even know how to call, like, a person which is not that familiar with soccer, and now a lot of people are watching our games. We saw that at the first game, there was so much excitement, amazing atmosphere, and that's what the whole country needs, and it would just get better because we are just getting started.
Mm-hmm. I went to the inaugural game at Geodis Park last year, saw you all on the pitch, and I've been to some Titans games, and I have to say that the energy when you all are playing, Titans fans, they love Titan Blue. They're for it all the time. Right. But, there's an energy there at Geodis Park watching you all. Now, do you think that's because people are just learning about the game, becoming fans, or people have wanted, finally, we have a professional team here for soccer? What do you think is the main catalyst of the fervor that the fans of Nashville SC have?
It's probably a mix, because I talked with a couple of people. They're already very familiar with soccer. They watch the Premier League, Bundesliga, and then there are other people which never been to a soccer game, or they don't even know the rules. And I think the club made a fantastic job to bring soccer to everyone, and that's the whole goal. Because now with the deal with Apple, it makes it even easier to watch all the games, to follow the games, to follow us when we play away. So I'm very excited, and with the World Cup coming, 26, which is a scam that we didn't get a game here in Nashville, but I think in general it would just grow and grow and grow. We saw that, like, so many people now watch the World Cup, and the US did quite well, better than Germany, but. I think there will be a lot of changes in the next years with soccer. We are on the right path, and we should just do what we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm. Now, I want to ask you a little bit more of a personal question. You are one of the more recognizable people in a city that is full of stars. Are you able to have your space and relative privacy here, living here?
It depends. If I go to Broadway, no. But if I go to a nice restaurant, yeah. I mean, yes, definitely. But I enjoy that. That's an honor, Like, I don't like when people say, yeah, but then people recognize you. That's part of it. You worked your whole life for that. And now people are recognizing you, saying like, hey, good job, good play, or that they want to talk with you. That's an honor, so I take that in a very good way.
Yeah, I mean, your face is out there in real life and also in the digital screen. We were talking about this earlier before we got started, but you're featured in a video game, FIFA 23 from Electronic Arts, which is incredibly cool. I was telling you how my nieces are playing with you and other squad members. Do you have people or fans approaching you talking about how they used you in a video game to capture an MLS title?
Oh, yeah. Just recently, a new special card came out of me, 87. And I got, I don't know how many messages like, hey, you have just 3 skills. They are like 1 to 5. 5 is the best, and everyone wants to have a 5 skiller. So that means like he can do nice tricks, but I have just in the game 3 skills. my weak foot is 5, which is pretty nice, but they all complain. And I did last year I was in most of the packs, my team of the season card. And I did like, hey, I posted on TikTok something, when you're the reason why people hate FIFA, and that's just like fun stuff. And I think a lot of people liked it and said like, man, get out of my packs, so I enjoy that. I mean, I play FIFA all the time. I love Ultimate Team. It's cool.
That's awesome. I wonder about fantasy soccer. Do people ever come up to you asking you for another assist or another goal so they can win their fantasy soccer match?
Yeah, I never heard about fantasy soccer before, but last year I realized a lot of people texted me, hey, I got your card at an app, I play fantasy soccer, and I was like, dang, that's cool. So yeah, that's cool. I like that because I know that everyone plays fantasy football, like American football, But now that we have that in soccer, that's cool.
Yeah. Look, you're talking to a fantasy footballer. I might have to take up fantasy football to make my life a little bit less stressful in the fall. So, moving on. Nashville SC has made the playoffs each of the 3 seasons you've been here. And I know the season just started this past weekend, but do you think this is the year that the squad makes a deep run in the playoffs?
I mean, we have to take it step by step. I learned that during my career, go game by game. And for me, the first important step will be to save a home spot, to have a home game in the playoffs. That will make life easier. So yeah, we have a very good squad, and I think we made the right improvements. So we need to win games, and then we go from game to game, and then we will see.
How is the team gelling so far this year? Again, we know the season only just started, but having gone through preseason and training camp, how's the team looking? How does it feel to you?
The team looks good. I mean, I could watch the first 70 minutes or 75 minutes the last game, and I think we look sharp. We could have scored a couple more goals, but I think we look in general very sharp, and it's very exciting.
Tell me about your role as a leader. How have you grown into this leadership role for the team?
Yeah, like I said, from the very beginning, the organization told me they want to build the team around me. And I know it comes with a lot of responsibility, and it comes also with leadership. And me, I'm the one, I mean, I talk, obviously, but I like to go or to talk with performance. And I think that's the best way how you can be a leader. Perform, first of all, and then the other will follow, and I will keep doing it. I will try to perform, get better, work harder, and to set the standards for the whole team.
Now, tell us which players on your squad on Nashville SC should people be watching for this season?
I mean, obviously Walker, because he plays for the national team. Shaq Mora is he's a great player. I think he should have played in the World Cup a little bit more. I hope he can stay healthy this season. I think I rate him very high. Then we have Fafa Pico, a new player on the right side. Very exciting, very fast. Schaffelberg, who we got last year during the summer. A very, very fast player, and he has a lot of potential. And hopefully, I mean, he scored a goal last game. I hope that he can bring it on the field, the whole season, the same performance. Then we have Randa Leal, who is very talented, obviously. And we have a couple very good players. I probably missed some of them, but in general, we look strong, and people should be excited. We will do everything to be successful.
You talked about the honor that was bestowed upon you when Nashville SC decided to make you the designated player and build this team around you. And in many ways, you are the pillar for professional soccer here in Nashville, and you accept that responsibility. What are your hopes for Nashville the city?
I mean, there's only one hope: bring a championship to Nashville, bring silverware here to this amazing city, and I think the fans deserve that.
Hany Mukhtar is the 2022 MVP for Major League Soccer. He's Nashville SC's star player. Thank you so much for being with us today, and the best of luck to you this season.
Thank you so much for having me.
Really a pleasure. Oh, hey, and one more thing. Should you make the German national team and somehow you play us in the World Cup or the Olympics, can you just take it easy on us, please?
I hope I get a call. First I have to get a call in,
I have a feeling that call is coming. Hany Mukhtar, again, thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much.
We want to thank everyone who tuned in this hour. Tomorrow, 10 years ago, Nashville was dubbed the It City. We'll see how that moniker has changed our town. This is Nashville is a production of WPLN News and Nashville Public Radio. Listen back at thisisnashville.org or wherever you get your podcasts. Our producers are Steve Harouche, Rose Gilbert, and Magnolia McKay. Our digital lead is Anna Gallegos-Cannon. Michaela Elias is our technical director. Our executive producer is Andrea Tudhope. The masterminds behind our theme music are Laurent and Namir Blade. And the conversation doesn't end here. Tweet us at This Is Nashville. Find us on Instagram and tell us what you want from our show by filling out our quick survey online. This is Nashville. I'm Khalil Ekalona. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. And be good to each other.